It's raining tacos from out of the sky. Tacos, no need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 5th episode of DeltaCo Fireteam Chat. I'm AudioReborn. Today we have No Face, we have a returning guest, RoninlD, and we have a brand new guest. We call him Steven, or the guy from the future, the VT. A whole lot of numbers and a whole lot of letters. What's up, guys? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well.
Hey, mate. How's it going? Good to be here.
Yeah, awesome, man. It's great to have you. I've been trying to get you guys on for a little while. So, as we do when we have a new guest on, we like to have them put a little spotlight on them and have them kind of, explain their the story behind their gamer tag. Steven?
All right. So, basically, when I started with the tacos, I went with the name Esteban 2808. And there was no real reason for that. I'm not Spanish, I'm not Mexican or anything. It was just, I was struggling for a name. So I chose Esteban, and 2808 is my birthday in this past Superior Day month. What?
No way, that's really your birthday?
Yeah. And I got to a point where I just didn't like it anymore. And then I always joked that the reason was because of Trump, but I just didn't like Esteban anymore. So I decided I'd change it.
Display.
And I worked out that VII is Roman numerals is 7. And I didn't work it out, I knew it for ages, but and Stephen is STEVEN, so that's 7 with a T. So I put Roman numerals, the VII, and whacked a T on it, and created VTII.
Nice.
Oh, wow. I never would have guessed that, ever.
Yeah, so I basically did a print and turned myself into a symbol.
If you're feeling like there's someone who's too highbrow to be on this podcast, now you know who it is. It's definitely Esteban, or VT, or whatever you want to call him.
Oh, absolutely.
I also did a maths degree, and I always liked Roman numerals, so that kind of ties in as well.
He's our Kiwi Doctor Who.
Right.
From the future.
All right.
So,
that's a cool story, man. Thanks for sharing.
and just one comment on that real quick. I am going to go ahead and agree with VT there that going day, month, year is a far superior system. It actually makes sense. So if anyone from the rest of the world is listening, I'm with you. In America, we need to change. We need to better ourselves.
Either that or go year, month, day.
Yeah, it's got to be smallest to largest or largest to smallest. Either way.
Yeah.
Somebody giving people ideas.
Well, no, the year, month, day works really well for computers.
Yes.
Because then it sorts it really well.
All database entries that I work with are year, month, day. So, yeah, I'm used to that already.
Ronan knows what's up.
Yeah. So I agree.
Right.
Well, and then while we're at it, we should also switch to the metric system, which is a lot more correct than. But anyway, sorry, off topic.
Yes, no, preach it, Ronan, preach it.
Metric system is the best system.
Welcome to the Ideas to Change the World podcast.
Metric system master race.
I'm going to metrize time.
Hey, we're solving the world's problems one podcast at a time.
Turn time into the metric system.
All right. So, has anything? Are we good now?
Get back on track.
All right. Has anything happened to anybody in Destiny 2 this week? Any cool stories or got any good loot?
Yes. I finally got the Orpheus rig.
Oh.
Nice. That is by far the best hunter exotic in existence.
Well, best void hunter.
Yeah.
Exotic.
So I think Orpheus rig, they're both kind of situational. Orpheus rig is really good for ads. Whatever, Celestial Nighthawk is really good for bosses and things like that. I think overall, I use Orpheus rigs way, way more often because you run public events a lot more often than you run Callus and things like that. So just by sheer utility, I'm going with Orpheus rigs.
Well, wait, what's the chest piece? The chest piece, the arc chest piece.
Radiant Flux?
Yeah, that one is amazing for clearing ads. Holy crap, that is so
I agree.
good.
Never really used it. I don't use that subclass a lot.
In
You should try it in PvE.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
hop into some strikes.
Strikes or like public
It's-
events.
It's good in PvE.
It lasts so long.
Oh, yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. I'm very much so a support kind of person. That's kind of characters I like to run. So being able to just chain tethers together is really my sort of thing. So I definitely always run Orpheus rigs.
What about you, Ronan?
Well, the group that I run nightly with, and I think I talked about it in the last podcast, we finally beat Prestige Callus. And
Nice.
Ooh.
dude,
Oh, sweet.
yeah,
Congrats, man.
it was a saga. You know, I think Mario said it took us like a month to beat him, and I don't know. I mean, it was hard, but like you know, you could tell we were steadily improving. Like the first week, you know, I think we found like the easier encounter to be dogs and the gauntlet, but it still took us like in maybe 4 hours to get through those, and then we got stuck on the baths. I don't know, for some reason the baths for 2 weeks just kicked our butts. It took us like 2-3 hours to get by baths, and just Callus. Callus kept, I don't know, like the first 2 weeks, maybe once every, I don't know, what is it, 20-30 runs, we were getting to DPS phase. So, and eventually it went
20
down.
or 30 runs.
Yes,
Jeez.
because it's yeah. But eventually we got it down to maybe like every 10 runs and stuff, and then last week we're getting down to maybe like every other run, and then our next hurdle was getting 2 damage phases in a row. You know, because it seems like there is very glitchy. You know, just people missing jumps. I don't know. And then this week, so on Tuesday we did it, and I don't know, me and Ziggy. So real quickly, the group is me, Ziggy, Looter, Mario, Sonic, and Odd. And on Tuesday, me and Ziggy were just dying all the time. It was horrible. It was the worst. And this was at Gauntlet, and I don't know what happened, but I told Ziggy, hey man, even Jordan and Pippin had an off day. You know, so
Yes.
so last night we decided, well, let's do it again Thursday night, and we got through it in 2 hours and like 30 minutes, which the first week it took us like
the whole raid,
beginning to end.
Wow.
So just everything was clicking, and then the funny, and even on Callus, like still there's a lot of RNG to it, on where you spawn in the shadow room, on if you can jump over the ramps, jump over the holes and stuff. On the very final round, we had 3 people in the shadow room. 2 of them had the same symbol, and so and if
Of course.
so if you don't know, like in the shadow room, there's 3 people, and and Callus has 3 different symbols for each person. And so in the throw room where we were at, clearing ads and stuff, we have to hit the symbol that they did not call. So, and this was the final barrier. We had, 2 sons and I think a dog. So like Ziggy just, and it shouldn't have happened. Again, it was a bug. We don't know, like no one died, no anything. But Ziggy managed to hit the correct scion to spawn the barrier at the right time. And luck. We didn't know. Like it was a 50-50 chance. But he hit the right one, and it spawned. Got the damage phase, and even the damage phase, like Callus was bugged out because he was just standing. Like he wouldn't sit down. Because normally when you beat him, he falls down. But it finished. We got the tokens. We got the aura, and we got the skin for the gun, for the raid shotgun. And man, I don't know. Like it's the rewards aren't really worth it, but just beating it was great. And I think like now, at least, I would love to get better at it and eventually start bringing people through. Because right now, I still feel we're still like, I don't think we're to the point where we can bring people through yet. We're still kind of getting there. But I don't know. It was great. It was amazing, and yeah. So that's my story.
Well, that's awesome, man.
What I'm running.
Yeah, that's super impressive. Super impressive.
Oh yeah, it took a long time, but it was great.
When you can start carrying, I'll set up that night raid again.
All right. All right.
Absolutely. I have to stay up past my bedtime for that one.
Last week I talked about you carrying me through Prison of Elders, so if you want to carry me through Prestige mode, you are welcome to do that as well.
Yeah, we're we'll get there.
Yeah, and as far as for this week in Destiny, for me, nothing really interesting happened. I mean, I got anti-OD.
Lucky
That's
dog, I
pretty
still
much
haven't gotten that.
I don't know if I've got it.
It's pretty nasty.
It must be before I knew it was good, if I got it. So I may have discarded it.
Yeah, that sounds like me. But yeah, I mean, with mouse and keyboard, it's really good. You don't have to ADS. If you could just get up on somebody and just wail into them, it just you watch their health just shred to pieces. It's so nasty.
Nice.
But other than that, not a whole lot going on. I haven't really had that much time to play this week, but hopefully this weekend that might change. But we'll see.
Yeah, so since Kraken isn't here, I'm definitely going to take the lead on being upset about things this podcast, about being angry and just hating things. I still have no problem with tokens, but since I'm doing that, I am actually going to congratulate Bungie on something, and actually Esteban and I were kind of talking about this before we started. They made that update where you are less likely to spawn into areas where you're by yourself. And I actually have noticed a difference. Maybe it's just confirmation bias or something like that, but this week I did notice a difference that it didn't feel like I was running public events by myself and things like that. I think out of my whole Flashpoint, I think I hit like one public event where there were no other Guardians, and it was like 10 in the morning Central Time or something like that, so it's not like I expected a ton of people to be there. So I do have to congratulate Bungie on that. They did a good job, tweaking that problem.
That's a huge quality of life improvement.
Agreed.
And now that we have the live team in charge, those sort of things I feel will happen more often.
I'm not gonna get my hopes up. I'm glad they did it. I hope there's more of it, but I'll believe it when I see it.
On the bright side, at least it's not Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Oh,
snap.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I don't really want to get into that, but
yeah, that's
topical.
Poor EA.
But I mean, but the thing is, Destiny is dabbling into loot crates. Are the engrams that we get?
It is.
It's RNG based, and that's the definition of the loot crates. It's you don't know what you're getting.
The huge difference is that cosmetic versus actual advantage. Everything that comes out of the bright engrams is cosmetic.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware.
See, and I'm fine with Eververse being RNG. I just wish they would get rid of the token system, or at least let us purchase what we want and not rely on.
Well, they have to some degree, but it's on a rotation.
No.
Yeah,
she
the
does
rotation
offer
is really what screws it.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm fine with that. Like, I'm talking like the vendors. Like, I'm still trying to get anti-OD, and this is what, 2 months into the game now. Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
there was that Reddit post a while ago with the mock-up, and that was really nice. And Cosmo, I think it said that he was sending it to the design team to have a look at. So who knows what the update will bring.
Yeah. Have to wait and see, I guess.
We're kind of in a holding pattern at the moment, which is unfortunate, but it means then I can play games like South Park without any guilt. So I'm fine.
All right, so this past Wednesday, I believe, the Bungie had a live stream showing a little bit of the Curse of Osiris trailer. No, you got anything to say about that?
So I have a lot to say about the trailer, but before, again, I'm going to be super negative because, and the reason why, before everyone just thinks I'm just a bad person, I am a bad person, but for completely different reasons. So the easiest way, or the biggest way that you're going to be upset about the Curse of Osiris after the first week or so, after you've played through it, is by having these super huge high expectations for it. Because that's what really happened with us in Destiny 2. We were expecting Destiny 1, but like way more awesomer. And we got kind of this weird mishmash of, we wanted Age of Triumph Destiny 1 that was just better. And we kind of got vanilla Destiny that was better. We got a kind of a coherent story, but no real end game. Like, we got like just this weird mishmash. And so if you're expecting Curse of Osiris to come out and December 5th, all your problems to go away and like the end game to be there and all this sort of stuff, if you're expecting that, you're not going to enjoy it. Like, you're going to have a terrible time with it. So I'm going to be super negative about it so that my negativity may be infectious and hopefully temper some people's hype so that, you know, we can enjoy this a little more. So I'm doing a community service here is really what I'm doing.
I think it will be good to start with because it will be new content, and whenever new content comes out is always a good thing. But how long we will be playing it is the big question. And they have said that with seasons we'll have balances, and it's just how much can they change in this short amount of time. I'm kind of predicting that the big change that will maybe affect the end game will come in September 2018, like the Taken King did.
Right.
Until then, they'll just be... They rebooted the game with the Taken King, and I'm kind of expecting that will be the time frame that we may see something similar. But no doubt they will make adjustments, but I'm not predicting or expecting the game to be fully fixed, as you would say, until much later on, at least 6 months. Just not enough time.
I agree. Kind of going back to the reveal, did everybody watch the reveal or get a chance to see some clips from it and everything like that?
Yes.
I watched it afterwards, later on.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, but everybody... So everybody kind of has an idea. So I guess my question is, what does everyone think of at least the aesthetic of the new lighthouse in Mercury, and how it's kind of I don't want to say social space because it's not, but it's a new like patrol area almost. What does everybody think about that?
I've always had this fashion because I really liked Trials of Osiris in Destiny 1. I never went to the lighthouse, but like just the gear and like the whole Egyptian aesthetic theme in general, I've always had a thing for that. And the fact that I can actually get to go into not Trials of Osiris, the Curse of Osiris, and obtain gear like that I haven't seen what it looks like, but I mean it would be stupid to not make the gear like that.
Yeah.
But just the overall aesthetic is the part that I'm more excited about than the actual story itself.
Yep. Personally, I'm quite excited because the Vex are my favorite of the enemy types. So anytime we see more Vex, I'm happy. And Osiris has been this big badass guardian that we've been teased about for so long. So to finally see him is quite a big moment, I think.
I agree. The trailer was pretty cool because we had kind of gotten snippets of it before, but then to kind of get the full intro, it was very interesting. A lot of interesting things teased in it. So I feel like Bungie could do a really great job with all that sort of stuff, with the new lighthouse and Mercury and everything like that. But again, I'm not confident they will.
My biggest issue with the aesthetics, though, is they remind me a lot of Mars from Destiny 1. Just like the sand, the rocks and stuff. I mean, and again, it looks nice, but I don't know. I think that was my biggest thing. Like, it felt like I'd already been there.
Past Mercury will look different. Like Darcy, I think they said. Yeah. And then the future one's gonna be all dark and. But and again, like I'm nitpicking and stuff, but I am excited for what's to come. But like Noah said, I'm like trying to hold back my expectations. We've been burnt before.
Yeah, exactly.
It's better to have low expectations and have them overwhelmed than high expectations and be disappointed.
Yeah, if you always keep the bar, low, you'll never be disappointed.
My biggest complaint is that right now my vault space is sitting around 190. Because I'm trying to collect everything at this point, and I still don't have all the weapons. I still don't have all the armors, and I'm like, now you're giving me more stuff to collect.
That's been your problem. I've just taken a minimalist approach this game. I just have not been collecting everything. Keep what's good.
Yeah, I'm a pack rat.
I know things will change, but at that point, I'll just get whatever's good then. I've never really been a big collector.
Well,
but what if that Season 1 pulse rifle is no longer there Season 2? You got to plan ahead.
Or what if it's the anti-OD and you never get it to drop?
That's also true.
Not much I can do about it if it doesn't drop, does I?
Yeah, but you can complain to no, and he will listen to you, and he will like it.
He'll sympathize. All right, so during the stream reveal, they didn't really show off a whole lot. I think they kind of did the. As I was thinking about it, I think they call it the just a tip method, where like they showed everything, but then like they showed like
Nothing.
just the tip.
Yeah.
So like, at first off, they kind of walked around Mercury in the patrol area. There was a public event that started. But they said that this public event was supposed to be but they didn't do the public event, but they said that this is supposed to be the largest public event that they've ever crafted. So,
well, next week they said they're going to show it next week, in the next week's stream.
Oh, they're actually going to show it?
Yeah.
I thought they said they're going to show it next week.
They will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Well, they were warning about if you don't like spoilers and stuff, we're about to show you the raid entrance and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was one thing I did like about the last stream is they before they even showed anything, they were just like fair warning, spoilers.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So they showed off the social space, which is the lighthouse. It's not the lighthouse that you know from Destiny 1. It's just a very condensed area, very small. And then we also got to see the gates that go to the Infinite Forest, which is kind of cool, which will kind of segue into the next thing that we're going to talk about, is the quote-unquote raid activity. Ronan, do you want to take that off?
Well, I guess they're calling it a raid lair, Lair. To me, it's because the Leviathan is really big, and you're going through all the tunnels underneath, and there's like closed doors, there's closed areas. And you think, what's stuff behind this? So it sounds like they're going to expand more upon it. And I guess I look at it, as if they're going to give us like a new raid, even if it's a smaller size. I'm cool with that, because it looks like we're going to new areas, doing new encounters each time, and new bosses. Yeah. If it ends up
one boss.
Yes, I'm thinking like the Leviathan is 4 encounters, including Callus at the end. I'm thinking this is going to be 3 encounters, including the boss.
It's going to be 3, yeah.
Yeah, because it's shorter. They said it's going to be a shorter raid than the other ones, but it's still going to be like difficult with puzzles and whatnot.
Lots of deaths.
So
we die a lot of times.
Lots of deaths. So I'm thinking that it's like a Crota size or Crota speed, as opposed to like Wrath of the Machine.
I get
That's
that.
kind of what I thought, yeah.
So I'm excited,
I have mixed feelings,
Mhm.
if I'm being honest. Because one thing I liked about the previous raids is that it was like the new feel. It was like you went into Crota's realm, you went into the machine, whatever you call it, the bulk. You had things that kind of suited the feel of the DLC. Is this one just going to be more Cabal ship with different boss?
We don't know, but I'm assuming yes, unless they have a thing where they captured other races or other races are invading. I don't know, but I'm assuming more Cabal.
Like a prison of elders.
Yeah, and it's funny too because
I guess that's one positive thing.
Yeah,
Because
we
didn't get a raid with House of Wolves, but we are getting one with all the DLCs, all these raid, whatever you want to call them, raids of apostrophes. But
yeah.
Or like big, they're just like large dungeons, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that feeling.
I mean, and it'd be cool because so if the first year we have technically 3 raids, a big one and 2 smaller ones, that's already more raids than year 1. And then if in year 2 they go with a similar structure where you have like a central hub, and they attach smaller raids off of it, that would still be, again, more raids than in the first one, or at least more raid content, more raid activities, and I'm cool with that. They're giving you more. It may not be as like grand as Vault of Glass, which is probably one of the best raids out there. Yeah, but it's still. I'm hoping. I think it's still going to be good. It's more stuff to do. So.
Yeah,
And I'm with you that I like the fact that there's new content on there. But for me, and this is kind of echoing some statements here, how do you convince me that there's a Vex raid inside of Leviathan? Like that just doesn't make sense to me. Like because if you've listened to the podcast before, you know I'm a freaking lore nerd. Like that's what really interests me, and I don't know how you justify having a Vex raid inside a Cabal ship, and so they're gonna have to do some serious like storytelling kung fu that better blow my socks off. Otherwise, I'm gonna be so stinking pissed.
Well, the easiest
suspend disbelief.
No, you have to read those Grimoire cards. Oh, wait.
God, don't. Yeah.
But no. I think the easiest story solution to that is saying because Callus loves testing people. He loves testing them for their metal.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be a whole situation where he takes like the cream of the crop of Fallen or the cream of the crop of Vex and is testing them. But in the process of testing them, he's testing them against us or each other and to see who survives. So it could possibly be worked into it because it's all a test. It's a way to prove who's the best and to reward them.
It could have been like you could have captured them, and then they somehow broke out and had a revolution or something against them.
Mm-hmm.
Prison of Elders style.
Yeah, it's effectively Prison of Elders.
Skolas escaping the Nine kind of thing.
And someone mentioned that the raid is set up like Prison of Elders, where you have like a central hub, and then you have like the 4 rooms off of the hub. So I could kind of see that. Although from what they showed us, the Infinite Forest to me seems more like a Prison of Elders than the raid, because you have that central hub and then you have the 3 doorways
underground.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I have issues with the Infinite Forest as well, but
what don't you have issues with?
So I don't have issues with the actual mechanics of the game, like the way the game is actually played. I'm actually not really. I don't find problematic. I honestly don't mind static rolls. I don't mind tokens. I don't mind basically any of those sort of things. Just if you're going to have static rolls, you need a bigger loot pool. If you're going to have tokens, you need the ability to buy certain items. Everything mechanic-wise, I think, is really good. I just don't think they meshed it together very well. Now, the biggest gripe I have is story and lore. Like, that is huge. And, okay, actually, I'm just going to go ahead and rant for a second.
Sure. Take the stage.
So, because, like, I have, like, a ton of notes here. So, because I watched the stream all the way through 3 times. I went back and looked at certain parts and everything like that because I wanted to get, like, direct quotes on things. Because, in my opinion, Bungie, what's going on is they either really don't know what they're doing with it, or they hope that the lore of Destiny 1 and kind of what they've drip-fed us in Destiny 2 is so confusing to the players that no one will notice when they change it or screw something up to kind of try and continue a narrative. And this is how this ties into the Infinite Forest. So I'm going to read a few quotes here. Alright, and this is from the actual whatever it was, that thing that they did, the stream. So when he asked him why Osiris is in the Vault of Glass, this is Christine Thompson, the narrative lead, mind you, saying, not technically the Vault of Glass. Osiris is in a place called the Infinite Forest. It's a reality engine the Vex use to simulate all the aspects of reality that they can touch. So he's in a simulation, alright, is what you're supposed to basically get from that. Now, this is from one of the stories. Adventures on Nessus. This is Deep Conversations. Your ghost says this. That mind said one last thing as it died. It's afraid of your light, the one thing in the galaxy it can't simulate. Now, we've been told that all the raids are canon. So in Destiny 1, when we raided the Vault of Glass, that was canon. That was something that was in-world story. So our light was in that. Like, we were supposed to be in that. The Vex, it just says the Vex cannot simulate our light, but Osiris is in a simulation of something that supposedly has our light in it, because we were the only fire team to clear the Vault of Glass, and it couldn't be the original fire team because that was only 3 people. That was Pahan and Prayed, I think, Kabir. So it couldn't be the original one because there's 6 people in it. Now, and then later in the stream, Dave Matthews tells us about the Infinite Forest. He says, these are all different trees that allow you, as a player, to go to different times. If Osiris is in the Infinite Forest, is he going to a simulation, or is he going to a different time? Or is he going to a simulation of a different time? Does anybody have any clue what is actually happening here? Like, that, it blows my mind that they... Oh, I know. Like, it blows my mind that they can't keep this stuff straight. The relation I thought of earlier was that if you've ever read Ender's Game, Orson Scott Card, he did an interview one time. So Ender's Game, pretty long book, fairly complicated, but what's more complicated about it is that 2 series split off of it. He wrote a dozen prequels about it. He wrote the Bean series, the Ender series, which are all hugely complicated books. And he did an interview where he talked about when he writes a new book, what he does is he goes onto the message boards, the forums, all that sort of stuff, and he asks people, it's like, hey, I can't remember. Did this character do this in the last book? Would it make sense for him to be speaking Portuguese or whatever? And his fans will tell him. Why Bungie is not reaching out to people like Mylan, My Name is Bai, Beard Grizzly, all these lore people, and saying like, hey, we want you to sign an NDA, and just tell us, would it make sense for Osiris to be in a simulation of the Vault, or is that completely ridiculous? I mean...
Better yet, just hire them. And they can write the
exactly.
Yeah, for real.
I'll stop. I'm done ranting now. I'm done.
No, did you read those Ender Game books and the side quests and the...
I read all of the Ender series and all of the Bean series. I didn't read any of the prequels.
Yeah, I think I did the same. Yeah, because I read where he goes to the planet, and that's right. And then he goes through something, and he ends up splitting himself into his brother and his sister again, or something like that. Okay, that was weird.
It gets super weird.
Yeah, I remember.
But it's really cool because it stays consistent. Like the history or whatever stays consistent because he asked his fans.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, that was a side segue. It's a good book.
Slightly off topic.
Ender's Game is a good book, as is the Dune series.
Yeah,
also very complicated and amazing, and about world. Anyway, good books.
Taco Book Club.
Sorry.
Welcome to the Taco Book Chat.
No Faces Salt Corner. All right. So I guess we'll move on to the next topic here. So it's something that we did last week where we just kind of went around the table and we talked about like just some really fun memories that we've had with the clan. So I think I kind of want to make this like a regular thing since last week it went off so well. So as for me, it was the time that I met Ronin in person.
Oh yeah,
that was really
that
cool.
was.
Yeah,
I do. I was there.
Yeah, man, it was a lot of fun. What? I don't believe it.
Yeah.
You must be a simulation. I don't know.
Yeah, we met
man.
in a like a plaza, and I remember I saw you walking up and I was like, is that you? Is that you? Is that me? So but it was cool.
It was a Sundance Square. It's downtown Fort Worth.
Yeah,
and we walked around downtown for a while.
And then we went and had some tacos and beer.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was fun. You see, and that's why it'd be great to meet more tacos, but I don't know, it's harder for me at this point. I feel like.
I mean, I had an opportunity to be cracking, but just with stuff going on in real life, I couldn't open it up a little bit because I know him and his wife were here not too long ago.
Actually, speaking of meetups, like I want to try to reach out to Husker and those guys that went to his house, like last weekend, just get them talking about the whole event because it sounded like a great time.
Yeah, I'd like to get them on here and talk about it. Like, just have all of them. Well, I don't know if we get all. That would be crazy. But just like anybody that's willing to get on, like just have that be like the whole podcast.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to hear all about all the inside jokes and stuff. They've been making all those memes and stuff about the signs.
The turtle? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, not to interrupt the sharing memories and all that sort of stuff. But one thing I will say, we tried to get it going last year and we didn't. I think some people went, but not everyone. But Guardian Con is in Tampa in July in 2018. So we talked about this last year. I really think it would be cool to have a group, because that's something we could all go to and just hang out for the weekend and do Destiny stuff. So that is a thing that's coming up. Well, 6 months coming up, however you want to look at it. But just throwing it out there, planting the seeds.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of seeds, I think July is about the time that my baby will be born. So.
Oh.
Wow, nice segue.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you, Esteban? You've been around a while, man.
January 2015 is when I started. One of the early tacos. There's so many memories. Raiding with Tim back when he was around. Probably one was me, Extreme, and Red ran Nightfall at Reset for so long. And we decided we would three-man Crota to do the Flawless Achievement. And the night we chose to do it, we ran it. We had a few hiccups, but we finally finished it, got the achievement, just to see that Destiny had added all the Taken King achievements to the board. We didn't even have 100% on our game thing.
Oh, no.
That was quite funny.
That's awesome.
There's been so many blind raids and stuff have been highlights. Just a good group to play with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, blind raids are a blast.
I'll throw my memory out there pretty quick. So prior to joining the tacos, I ended up, because I came in, I was a Christmas snoob back during the release of The Dark Below, and I remember I wanted to do the raid, but I didn't really have anyone to play with, so I LFG'd it, and one of the guys says, "Oh, I'll shepherd you through," and it was very unsatisfying because, like, at Crota, he basically had me go like behind a wall and shoot a wall to distract the knights. The boom knights. And I'm just sitting there just shooting the wall the whole time. There were four of us. And there was another guy that he had shooting something else, while he and his buddy just ran around and did everything because I guess they knew it or whatever. And it was just, I got my reward. It was like, oh, this felt so bad. Later on, I ended up running with some tacos. And I think at the time, Most Epic Bummer, and who I actually recently ran into again, was in the raid, and I think it was a Tuesday night raid. I think that's how I met you, Audio. But on one of these like Tuesday night raids, I don't know if you were there, but I remember Jinx and I remember Murdoch and No Wufo being there. I feel like you may have been there, but at the end of the raid, I got Gallahorn, and it was like it was like my first taco raid. And I get Gallahorn, which at the time was the weapon to have. Like people had it as a requirement for Crota because it was so good. But yeah, that was a great my great introduction to the Taco Clan.
Yeah, I remember that night, man. You were I'm not to bash on your character, but like you were very quiet and you were really. I'm sure your wife and kids were asleep. You're just like really quiet and shy. You were like, okay, I'm gonna do this now. I'm gonna do this, and you got Gallahorn, and you kind of opened up a little bit. I think that's when you realize that like tackle for life, man. You can't go anywhere else. Yeah.
Well. Because in the raid, like, Wufo and Jinx were just, cracking up and just, joking around a lot. And Murdoch too. And
hard to get a word in.
Yeah, so it was kind of like, like I don't want to, I was like, I was just listening, to everyone talk. And like, and it sounded like, you guys had a lot of like in jokes. Yeah, like history, in jokes and stuff. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna listen here and just take it all in. So, yeah, but yeah, that's my memory.
I guess I got one more thing to add. Is I miss Wufo. I haven't seen him in quite a while.
I raided with him a week or so ago.
With him.
Oh,
really? Because that's cool.
How is he?
They raid together a lot.
Yeah, how is he?
He's good.
Oh, really?
Same as usual. Yeah, they've been raiding together a lot, but I don't think he's had a lot of time recently. But he's still around.
That's good.
But I remember he would always ask, "Are you guys having fun?" Like every time we played together. I don't know if he did that with y'all, but
Husker used to always do
say
that
it
too
a
in
certain way.
PvP. Like, because he knew I was super bad at PvP, so if we ran, like, Iron Banner or something like that together, a big group of us, he would always be like, "No Face, you having fun?" Because, he'd see me get, like, a 0.5 KD or something like that. He's like, "No Face, you still having fun?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm good."
He's probably drunk.
I mean, when is he not?
Yeah, that's true.
He's someone you need to get in here.
Oh yeah.
Y'all, I hit him up a couple days. Well, I don't think it was earlier this week, but he didn't say anything. I do want to get him in here. Very, very rated R podcast. Anybody else got anything else they want to add?
No.
I think I'm good at the moment.
I mean, I have a whole list of complaints.
Oh, well, just email them to me. We'll be good. All right, so we're going to wrap this up today. I'd like to thank you for listening. If you'd like to get in contact with us, we have an email. It's DeltaCoFireteamChat@gmail.com. And we're also on Twitter at DeltaCo_71. I hope you guys have a great night. Goodbye.
It's raining tacos.